Oh, so persisted. Yeah, man. What is going through a sunshine phase? Is it alright? The world is going through a sunshine phase. Is it alright? Yes,
as I sat here reminiscing and thinking about these last 3 months, I personally have had this range and roller coaster of emotions. We've been cooped up inside of the house. There was the fear and the anxiety of the pandemic and the virus, and is it going to get us? And are we safe? Finally, after a couple of months, things start to ease up. And I remember hearing throughout the day, maybe about a month ago, about another instance of police brutality in Minneapolis. And so I didn't have a chance to get to it throughout the day, but as soon as I got home, I turned on my computer. I went online and I had to watch the video that people were talking about. And I think I had the same range of emotions that everybody had. Curious at first, and you watch the man being dragged into the car, then dragged out of the car, and then more officers come. The officer places his knee on the man's back and neck. The man continues to say, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." My wife was in the other room, hearing that I was watching the video. She had already watched it. She started crying and told me to turn it off. I couldn't turn it off because I had to watch it. I heard George Floyd cry out for his mama. And then you hear him cry out his last breaths, saying, "I can't breathe." I think that everybody here, everyone in the world who watched that video, was filled with anger, indignation, sadness. Our hearts cried. And so, quite appropriately, throughout the country, there's been this outcry. People taking to the streets, raising more and more awareness of the injustices. Everyone who watches that video saw that that man was murdered. But also, everyone who watched that video knows that this is not an isolated event. This is not a one-off. But this is part of a systematic. This is part of a culture. This is part of something that's deep-rooted inside our society that led to George Floyd's death. And so I'll tell you, that range of emotion, makes you reflect on how terrible our country's treatment of African Americans has been for over 400 years.
Still that way.
And it's still that way. And so when you're at that level of emotions and you see the anger in the streets, I think we were all worried to see where this was going to go. But I'll tell you, the place of emotions that I'm at right now, I could not be more optimistic for the future and for this moment of change than I am right now, than we all are right now. And this is all on the shoulders of the leaders who have come before us and have carried that baton. But we got to give credit where it's due. So much of the recent efforts have been because of folks like Faith and the young people of this country that have stood up and have become the leaders of today and not the leaders of tomorrow. And they have opened up this window of opportunity for real change in our community that, frankly, I haven't seen perhaps in my lifetime. And that weight of responsibility isn't taken lightly. Every generation has its moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our moment. That window of opportunity for change is open for us right now. And now the only question is, what are we going to do with this opportunity that we have before us? Are we going to talk? Are we going to take half steps? Or are we going to take action? And are we going to be bold? I, for one, want to take action, and I want to be bold, and I know you do as well. We're talking about going far beyond police brutality. and systemic racism inside of policing. We're talking about changing the life trajectory of a young black child that's born already having trouble breathing with higher levels of asthma, born into segregated neighborhoods, more likely to get lead poisoning, then going to schools that underperforming schools that don't prepare them for the real world. Then when they go older, they're suspended at higher rates, and it starts the pipeline, school to prison pipeline. And then they look for a job, and they're turned away simply because they have a black sounding name on their resume. And so injustice upon injustice upon injustice has been the course that so many black families have had to suffer through in our country. And we have the opportunity to change that course right now. So because of all of you, because of our young people, and because of all the folks that are ready for bold action, this range of emotions has brought me to this point where I am optimistic about our future. The baton is in our hands. Let's make the most of this opportunity, and let's make sure we have systemic change that comes to our community, to our state, to our country, and to our society today. Thank you, everyone, and let's continue this fight.
Same boy. It no matter who that you be, it no matter how side you dey, it no matter how side you come to. We not so strange and I am so. And the sound sensation. I want to salute back there. You make a new sabani. Yenye salon. Ndewa salon. Yenye salon. Asakana kuya chen na wa mboai. Now me and you two for make this country. I want me to know that too. Say, forget you try to lead anybody. Put your country first, Mama Elele. Oh, politics no scatter we oh. Making us scatter we, tribalism no scatter we oh.
I don't know, can you see me? This is so high, these microphones.
They can't. Some of the elders can't see you because all of the cameras.
I know, and all this.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you all for being here.
There you go ignoring everybody.
Thank you for coming. And thank you, Will Mazzetta, for that kind introduction and for all the work that you do in my administration and for your lifelong commitment to racial justice. I'm very happy to be here. It's wonderful for me to look around the crowd and see so many friends and people who've been fighting their whole lives for racial justice. So thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to the Treasurer for being here, Chairwoman Williams for being here, Senator Metz, Chairman Miller, Rep. McKiernan, Rep. Hull I saw back there, Senator Quesada, thank you for being here, Senator Kano, Rep. Kislak, Rep. Ranglin-Bassel. I think we saw Senator Golden. I saw Whit Blazajewski, who's here. I want to thank you all for being here, members of my administration who are, I think, and is Nerva here? I know. Yeah, there you go. She represents this district. Thank you all to being here, and I want to thank members of my team. Colonel Manny is here, thank you, and I want to thank Reverend Howard Jenkins for joining us. And we have a special young woman with us today, Faith Kania. Faith she's going to be a senior at Central High School. She's 16 years old. I called her recently because she was one of the organizers and leaders of the big march and protest with 10,000 folks at the State House. Yeah, give her a hand. I called her to thank her for her leadership and to tell her that I think she's a naturally born leader with a lot of gifts and talents, and I encouraged her to go far in this life. And I said to her, a girl 17, 18 years old who did what you did, and she interrupted me and said, Miss, I'm 16. So God bless you. 16. Mayor Lorza, I didn't recognize you, the great Mayor Lorza. So Faith and all the young people who are here We're counting on you guys. We're trying. We make a lot of mistakes, and I'm putting my faith in the young people to keep us honest and to keep going. And that's part of the reason we wanted to be here at a park. So I want to thank you, all of you, for joining us here at the Billy Taylor Park. I will tell you, I've logged hundreds of hours right there on that jungle gym with my kids. For whatever reason, this was always their favorite place to come. And it's also a recognition for Billy Taylor, who was a local leader right in this neighborhood, helping families one kid at a time. Helping kids one kid at a time, kids who didn't know life outside of this neighborhood. And he helped to get them a job, get to go to a summer camp, took them on trips, encouraged them to pursue their education, helped them get a job. And so we thought it was fitting to come here to focus on our youth and to focus on the fact that every person deserves a chance. Every single person deserves a chance, regardless of the neighborhood they're from or the color of their skin. So, as I've said so many times, my experience of racism is an observed experience. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to walk in the shoes of a black woman, or certainly a black man, a black person, and I don't know what it's like to myself be the victim of discrimination and racism. But I do know it's wrong, and I do know I've worked hard as your governor for 6 years to do what I can to eliminate racism and discrimination in our state, and I do know we have a lot more to do. And anybody who watches the video of George Floyd, which is so hard to watch, anyone who watches that video, who sees and is confronted by the abuse and discrimination that people of color in our country face every day, knows there's more to do, and we have to act with urgency. And today, I'm going to take a page out of Secretary Jones's book and agree with her that we need to lead by example. So today I am once again pledging my support to remove Providence Plantations from our state's name. Now, there's a lot of people out there, because I've heard from them, who say to me, they will point out to me, Governor, this is our official name, it's a part of our history, and the word plantations in the Rhode Island and Providence Plantations doesn't explicitly refer to slavery and the slavery that happened on plantations. It was, as you all know, in reference to the mainland colony founded by Roger Williams, as distinct from Newport and
Good
Quebec
afternoon,
Island.
everyone. Today we're celebrating, well, it's a celebration for some, but for me it's a preparation for what's to come. As far as taking the word plantation off of our official state seal. The House of Representatives is removing the word plantation off of its documents immediately. And I'm grateful for my leadership to have made that decision to change it. It was time. For every season, there is a reason, and the reason is upon us to make change. Just know, everybody needs to know, we are not changing history in the sense that we are putting it, forgetting it. We are adding to it. We're adding to it together. We are making a change where we are working together to move things forward. Black history is American history, and to be able to be part of it is a daily thing, a proud thing. So, as the governor has made mention, let us rise together. The time has come for us to rise together as a people, as a race, the human race. I say, let's do it together. I thank you very much.
Rhode Island State Police is proud to be here today, and we're taking our community outreach to a whole different level. We're forming a new unit called Community Diversity Equity Unit, and we're going to connect to the communities we serve, and we're really looking forward to this. Thank you very much.
Mary Kay Harris, I represent Ward 11, and I was asked why I was here today. Again, I want to repeat that I was born in the Jim Crow South, and in the Jim Crow South, the plantations were limited plantations. My family was sharecroppers in the South, and they picked cotton, and whatever that cotton was worth, that's what they were paid. So usually, I mean, this is before I was born because my family found a new opportunity for us to come north. And there's another story about that too. But I want to say that today is a great day. I think we're gonna do it this time. After 2 decades of trying, I think we're gonna do it. I was in the original trying to remove it the first time, and I think we're gonna do it this time. Thank you for your interview.
I'm here because I hear that the governor is planning on removing the word plantation off the letterhead. That is not the point. The point is we want plantations eliminated, period, from the state of Rhode Island. One called Providence, Rhode Island. Never mind plantation. Everybody knows what the connotation of plantation is. I mean, if they think we're still slaves in the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island, they got to be out of their mind. So just by her taking the name change off the letterhead doesn't mean that we're going to change the name plantation. We have to put that on the ballot and go out here and vote it off. And as we know, these little small cities and towns in the state of Rhode Island, we know that there's a lot of racism going on. That's why it didn't pass the last time. I hope this time people have enough sense and enough integrity and enough heart to go through with passing this bill, which is to take the name plantations off, period. And if the black and brown community do not get together, along with our white brothers and sisters, to change this name, well, I believe that we're a problem. That's what I believe. But hopefully, everybody will do the right thing and change this name, including the white community. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What is going through a sunshine phase? Is it alright? The world is going through a sunshine phase. Is it alright? Yes, sir.